Good evening. This is Gannett Gittins Roberts, and I am here with Caribbean Streaming Network, and we are with Minister Crowell, right?
That's right.
Crowell, like in Crowell Street.
Correct.
I like it. Now, let me ask you before I even go in that, is Crowell Street named after somebody in your family or something?
I'm not aware of any correlation also. Well, it's a very popular street.
It's
It's in the center of Georgetown.
That's very true. So you're Minister of Housing and Water. I'm more familiar with Ministry of Housing. Is this a new ministry with it being on water, or that's how it's been done?
Well, it was Ministry of Housing and Water prior to 2015.
Okay.
In the last government, they would have divided they formed a new ministry that was called Communities, and so but we in this new government we put it back in the old yes, because we feel there's a correlation because water, the importance of water for the delivery to the household and dealing with households, there's a lot of correlation, so it makes better sense to have it under one ministry.
Infrastructure.
So we have a separate ministry that's called Ministry of Public Works. So
Learning a lot. We're actually learning. We actually learned a lot today, to be honest. So kudos to you guys on that. And we will be sharing the wider video. We'll be sharing it with you all, and we'll be sharing it on Caribbean Streaming Network as well as Caribbean Passport News Magazine. But for this is almost like a snippet point. What are two of the major things that you think the public needs to know about your ministry or getting involved in the housing industry in Ghana?
sure. So my focus today was asked to in terms of housing and infrastructure. A lot of persons. So what I'll do, I'll separate between the housing and then I'll deal with some bit in terms of what else we do. So from the diaspora, there are a lot of persons who ask if they want to come home, how can they benefit from the government's housing program? And so you have the house.
Just a quick note, I did not even know that a remigrant could benefit from that program. That is something I didn't know until today.
Right. So when you apply for a land, there is that option if you're applying and you have a remigrant status. And so that is for persons, of course, who coming back home, and we do set aside an area for that. But in addition to that, for me, the take home was for the diaspora to understand how to do business, and this is very important. And so that is why I went through the process. If you're into business and you're going to construct, what is this procedure that you go through? And that is why I also said that we are working on a new electronic single window system. So that will be new because our system at this point in time is manual. So that
Let's break down what that single window system means.
So it's.
I heard it today. I don't know what that means.
So there's an agency called Central Housing and Planning Authority that is under the ministry. They are the agency for which we do the allocations, for which you have to have construction permit. And so there's a planning department that deals with zoning. So as an investor, you're coming into Guyana and you're interested in getting lands, even if you engage a private individual, it is important to know the land use so that the type of business you're going to embark on, if it can be done within that area. And so to me, I thought it was very important
Agreed, yes.
to let persons understand you must check and you should check with the Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHPA in short. You must check with them if you want some prerequisite information when you're investing in Guyana.
So guys, before, what he's saying, let's break it down. Before you go and you just talk to a person who's selling you a property, check with CHPA. And what's the website? Is it just CHPA?
So the ministry's website is www.mohw.gov.gy. CHPA is www.chpa.gov.gy. And so there's a link there where when you go online, you can, for those who are applying for lands. And so this single window that we're going to introduce is fully electronic, is intended for applicants when they send their application to be able to monitor where the application is. Because for approval purposes, we have a board that deals with approvals, but there are a number of agencies that must give their input in the formulation of the report that goes to the board. So, for example, if you're going to embark in a cement business, Then we must have the review from the Environmental Protection Agency, the location for which the investment will be done, the local authority, whether it's the municipality, the NDC, there no objection. And so fire. You have, for example, maybe from natural resources. So there are different agencies that are involved, relevant agencies that must give their input. So the system that we will introduce will ensure that when you make that application, you have a unique number. You can log in at any time and know where your status is. But what is important, and this is what I wanted for us, what we were looking for, is to also to be able to legislate. There will be the need to put legislations in place. So it will be a few months from now. It will take at least another 6 months to legislate changes so that when an agency does not respond, then they have to have some reporting time mechanism. So because, as I said, we have to get their feedback.
This is really bringing Guyana into modern, I like it. So that when people are accustomed to doing business here, they don't feel uncomfortable in trying to figure it out there.
Exactly, and we're also removing the subjectivity and dealing with individuals. It's a system, and we want the system to work. So anybody, wherever they are in the world, must know this is a system and this is how it will go. So we want to set timelines for responses, so that you can be assured if you put your application in, by X time you will have a response, whether it is a positive or a negative, but there must be a response. So that is one of the important lessons I wanted to take away today for the diaspora. And of course, for them to understand too that our policies in terms of land allocation for persons who are seeking land for commercial purposes. And we have to work together. Guyana is one of the fastest growing economy. For example, in the construction sector, for which I spoke about today, we grew in the first half of this year 25%. So our projections for 2021, the construction sector.
That's during COVID. Yeah.
That is during COVID. We expect to have a growth of about 19 to 20% by the time we finish this year. The construction sector right now is booming in Guyana, both at a residential and as well as commercial level. And so a lot of opportunities for employment, a lot of opportunities for personal development, and the landscape, of course, will change. And so there's a lot happening.
I must say, as I said, we're going to be sharing the entire presentation. Your presentation had a lot of meat to it, but I could also tell there was still a lot more that you could have gone into. And so one of the things we'd like to do is definitely schedule another time, maybe a further discussion where we just do something online.
I see now through the diaspora, there are a lot of virtual conferences, even earlier this week on Monday night from CHP. Yeah, so the team would have presented, and the focus on Monday night was with relation to planning approvals, the system for planning when you're submitting your plans. Because we see, as I said, for construction, if you approval for businesses, that's where the agency is. The types of business.
All right. So you guys, again, thank you, Minister CROAL. And when you guys go to Guyana or you're trying to do business with Guyana, one of the first things we learn is utilize the resources of the ministry, utilize the resources of your staff before you just take a problem straight to the minister when there's really no problem, right? That's one of the things.
Yes, it did come up. But I also want to mention too that because we work in close collaboration with Go Invest, and so Go Invest has that responsibility in terms of providing guidance for investment, what the incentive regimes that are there. That's something a lot of persons from diaspora want to know. So Go Invest will be that agency. But at this point in time, we're encouraging larger companies, bigger companies, to come in and to invest. There are opportunities. Sometimes when I sit there and I engage with persons who ask to see me, be focused on what you're trying to do. There are persons, sometimes they come into the office, they engage you, but when I listen to them, what is it they are trying to do? They want to basically invest in business, but they want to do everything under the sun. And you have to be focused as a business person to know what you want and go after it and get all relevant information that is applicable.
All right. And if you're not sure of what you want to do, come to forums like these so that you can then hear the overview, make up your mind, and then go to.
Sure, yeah. Certainly. And it's a pleasure for inviting us there today. It's a pleasure engaging and of course we feel at home. And we are at home, so
You came, you had curry here, you had roti. I mean, I know the roti is not like home, but you know, we're trying here.
that's all right. And the hospitality was fine. I totally enjoyed the day.
That's wonderful. So again, my name is Guyanese, and I'm here with Minister CROAL. And again, thank you, Minister CROAL, for taking that extra time to speak with us. And we will share this presentation, the wider presentation, with you. And we look forward to talking with you further.
It was a pleasure.